So you know when you're out to dinner, when your super cute chemistry professor walks into the restaurant with a date. And before he can see you and notice that you are instantly jealous of the girl he's out with, since no one is supposed to know that you kissed him at a party a couple weeks before the semester started, back before you knew you would be in his class, you force your gaze away from him and his date. Or at least that's what you try to do, since you really should not be trying to figure out if his date is like a first date or if they're more serious. Because in the fantasy land you've been living in the past few weeks, he was still hung up on that steamy hot tub kiss that you had. And the only reason he hasn't tried again is because you're his student, not because he's moved on. Anyway, you are half listening to the guy you're having dinner with. You hear your professor laugh at something his date said, and you end up accidentally slurping your soup a little too hard and getting some of the spicy broth in your eye, which burns like lava. And after trying to dab it out with a napkin, you have to run to the bathroom to try to splash it out. But on your way to the bathroom, you have to walk past your professor and his date, which is completely humiliating because you know it probably looks like you're crying or having some sort of a fit. Anyway, you eventually get your eye to calm down and go to step back into the restaurant, but once you step out of the bathroom, you walk right into a tall guy's, and when he turns around, you see that it is none other than your super cute professor, because he came to check on you, which is totally sweet, but also totally embarrassing. He inspects your face, and then he asks if you're okay. You try to brush it off, say, yeah, it's fine, but he looks genuinely concerned and looks at you a little more closely, like he really wants to make sure you're fine, which you like, because it's been so hard trying to just act normal around him, when all you want to do is ask him if he ever thinks about that first night you met. But then you remember he's there on a date with another woman, so you say, you should probably get back to your date. She's probably wondering where you ran off to. And he says, no, it's fine. I told her I was helping my friend's little sister. You didn't tell her I'm your student, you ask? And he's like, not exactly. And all you can think is that you wish that you weren't his student and that you were only just his friend's little sister, because maybe there would be a chance. And even though you don't say any of that to him, you know that he has totally sensed the shift in your mood, because he looks down and clears his throat before saying, I figured it was better to say that than the truth. And what's that truth, you ask, so curious. And after looking deeply in your eyes, he says that I kissed you in the Hamptons and I can't stop picturing it every time I see you in class.